Hi, I'm Ambuj and today I want to talk to you about one of the most important problems that many parents face, and that is screen time among children. Yes, we do live in a world where children end up spending more time with screens than with humans. And that it makes us ask one fundamental question. The question is that are children growing or are they just scrolling? Right? And let's try to, over the course of the next 20 minutes, let's try to unpack this. How can we replace screen time with something more productive? And in my opinion, that is skill time. If we do look back at what our country is facing today, we are facing a huge skill deficit. We all know that over 42% of our graduates are today unemployable. They lack the requisite skills. They may have the knowledge, but they lack the requisite skills to do practical, socially useful and productive work, right? And this also brings me to my personal example. Very recently, I met a child who, is extremely intelligent, and he came up to me and said that, sir, I can, you name a country and I'll be able to name the capital city of that country to you. And, very simply, I asked the child, hey, what's the capital of Canada? And, well, the child would have answered correctly. But, immediately after that, I asked the child, do you know any of the nearest hospitals in Kandivali or Borivali, a hospital that is at least within the next 5 kilometers? And the child did not know that. So that begs the fundamental question. Our children today are extremely good at scrolling and using apps and coming out with projects and with different kind of content. But are they equipped to handle situations around them? Can a child that is expert at an app go out and lay a dining table? Can the child fend for himself or herself? That is the critical question that I want to sit down today and unpack for you. And my answer to this problem is that we are facing a huge skill deficit, and that screen time needs to be replaced by skill time. And today, parents, I'm going to give you a framework on how you can look at skill building, and you can ensure that collates and compounds among your children, so that in a few years your children are extremely highly skilled and ready to take on any challenge that comes across them. So when we speak about headset, we are speaking about what we think. When we speak about heartset, we are focused on how you feel. And when we speak about handset, we focus on what you do. And today I'm going to talk about, as you go about screens or as you go about books and learning, that is about how you think. But the importance of handset, using your hands to do things, is paramount in today's day and age. And we will today talk about a lot more about using your hands to develop the skills rather than screen and book and content to develop your head. And that becomes extremely important today in today's day and age. Okay, so as we do agree that skill time is important, let's first ask this question now that, okay, if skills are important, how do we go about building those skills, right? Can we draw a framework, or can we have 3 or 4 crisp methods in which we can know how to build out skills? And I think let's take a look at it in 3 or 4 ways, right? The first step is to start monitoring and counting the skill time. Let's count the amount of time a child is doing something actively, which does not involve just sort of playing a game on the phone, or which does not involve just studying with the books, but which involves doing something, right? Where the child is involving his or her hands. And that is the first time. Let's start taking accountability on how much skill time a child does. The second is, every time a child is learning something, we need to tactile that. We need to combine learning with tactile learning. And let me share with you 1 or 2 examples. So for example, if your child is learning about planets, a great way to build skill is, hey, let's go out and let's start seeing which are the planetary forces around us. You can, today easily use an app and say, okay, let's use this app to identify where Venus is, or let's, look deeper into the moon using the app. That is also skill time. Another way to do is, if your child is learning geometry, let's use paper to cut and draw a shape. These are skills. So I will then give you a framework which allows you to easily track how learning tools align with skills. And as a final method, we must look at the skill bank. So every time your child does something which involves learning or using skills, in that case we can sort of give a child credit or give a child certain points, which can be a gamified reward system, and give the child a bank that the child knows the more skills I do, the more I get rewarded. And just like money grows with interest over time, I think skills also compound over time. So we must be very well mindfully sure that every time a child is doing or spending time on skills, the child will grow, the skills will compound. Also, one of the additional challenges that we in the education fraternity we face is extremely smart kids but not knowing or not having a life direction. Extremely smart kids who can ace tests, and you can see, kids who are scoring really well in their board exams, kids who then go out and crack IIT. They go to the IIT, they go to these colleges. I mean, think about the movie Three Idiots and the case of Madhavan, right? As I mentioned, that yes, he's gone and cracked this, but the passions lie somewhere else. There's an advantage with skills. As you use your hands to do something, you start learning, developing passion and purpose. If you're learning about cooking, but you end up going and developing, cooking a meal, that's when you realize you find true joy and true meaning in doing something that is useful and productive. And I want to share with you an example that when I was at MIT and studying, when we studied teamwork or when we learned about leadership, they were not only taught in the classroom. We were supposed to do action learning projects. We would work with each other. We would work as a cohort and work 8 to 10 people together. And that's when you realize, hey, I really love doing this thing. So I feel skills are not only important in terms of that they equip the child with the ability to do something, but they are extremely important that they equip the child to develop a passion and a sense of purpose. And today, parents, if you can develop that sense of passion and purpose among your children, you've hit the jackpot. You've hit the holy grail. You've hit what you really wanted, because your child will then do things by himself or herself. Your child will then develop resilience. Your child will develop independence. Your child will develop the ability to execute himself or herself. So as we know, we've spoken about the importance of skills. We've spoken about how skills can transform and help children develop purpose and passion. We've given a framework to you, parents, about how you can monitor the skills among your children. But then the next question is, as educators, what are we doing about it? And parents, as you go about choosing schools, you must ensure that the schools you choose have these skill labs, have these play areas for children, have these spaces where children can sort of do something by themselves. And not only the spaces and the infrastructure, but even the mindset among the school. And I'll share with you a few examples of what all schools are doing in today's day and age. You would go out seeing schools build out robotics and AI labs. You will see schools build out or revamp their libraries to make it more interactive, revamp the library programs to make it more interactive, so that students can not only read but also discuss with other children what they read. You would also see schools go out and build out art labs today, or art rooms today that allow children to do by their own hand something. One interesting thing that really fascinates me and that I look to start up is a messy art room, something where, let's say a child can go and take paint and splash it on the walls. That is also learning by doing across. So, we want to see schools start up these infrastructure pieces, but at the same time build up these smaller nooks and corners in the classroom also. I feel today classrooms should have a green corner, classroom should have a plant that students themselves take care of, so that they can develop the skill of not only sowing a seed, but also see that plant nourish and grow across. Green corners in passages, there are certain corners that students can go and do up themselves and build recycling bins, build corners where kids can develop the skill to understand what they are consuming and understand how the waste recycling process works. These are essential for today's day and age. So I feel that schools have a very important role in how they build the infrastructure, their own mindset, and encourage students to go out and develop skills. As a conclusion, parents, I would like to remind you that throughout this time, don't neglect the importance of skills. Go out there, achieve it. Make it a fun way to engage for children. Make it a fun time that you and children can engage together. And I'm also, so that you can track this, I'm going to give you a skill matrix as a PDF at the end of this episode, an easy downloadable link that you can click and share. And I'm also going to give you a small snippet that you can post on your home refrigerators, so that you can in a fun way track the skill development of the children. And in the process, forget you not, you can also track your own skill development. And hopefully we'll have a highly skilled workforce going out tomorrow that is ready to conquer the world.